see Miles and Liza looking in the distance. Multiple CRM jeeps, Humvees, and helicopters. They were herding a large group of dead away in the city. They were everywhere. Soldiers on the rooftops, soldiers in the streets, in the buildings, and in the vehicles. Holy fucking shit! Liza said, grabbing Caden. Get down, she said. This is the largest group we've ever seen, he told her. What are they doing here? She asked. I have no idea. But we should go. Right now, he stated. They all began to head back, leaving the site as the CRM continued in the far background. In Alice's lab, we see Sean wearing protective clothing. They look, seeing the many zombies in a large glass box. She pulled her gun out of the drawer. Sean, would you take it? She asked. What? He asked. You're a better shot than I am, and I trust you, she told him. Sean was a little hesitant before he grabbed the gun, holding the magazine inside of it and cocking it. Are we really doing this? He asked. Yes, we are. If it's too much for you, he interrupted her. It's not. I've seen worse, he told her. I'm implementing infected manipulation test number 3. She pressed the camera as it blinks red. We see Alice with thick gloves on, going to the restrained zombie. It growled at her as she opened its throat out. She made the incision, opening it, as she was grossed out. She placed a small device inside of its neck. As she quickly closes it up, device was inside of it. Device has been placed, commencing next phase of test. Testing if it still works and remains audible, she said, taking a small device from her pocket. She pressed it. Hello, my name is Dr. Alice Jennifer Warren. I'm 25 years old. I live in Indiana. I like to watch old classical dramas, and I went to Purdue University. Alice's voice kept talking from the walker's mouth, thanks to the device. She turned it off. Sean covered her. Why doesn't that dickhead Trevor or another dickhead help us with this? He asked. That's too much, she stated. Of course, Sean said, annoyed. Sean tapped the glass to distract them. He stared as the ugly zombies pressed their faces against it. Sean stared them, showing no signs of fear. While distracted, Alice opened the door and shoved the zombie through the box. Alice quickly closed the door as one of the dead turned to her. The zombies noticed the new arrival and looked at him. The boxed infected are greeting the test subject. They seem to be affirming he is one of them, she stated. Preparing to implement the first test. Sean, come here, she said. Sean moved to her. And begin, she said, pressing the button. Her voice was speaking from the speaker box. Alice's voice was speaking loudly through the walker, as the walkers were all confused. Test subjects are showing signs of confusion and anger. Possible realization of prey through sounds, she said. The walkers growled louder. Wait. Suddenly, the walkers pounced on the test subject as they all grabbed the zombie. Alice and Sean looked on as they surrounded him before tearing their claws into him. They started biting him in the neck and face as black blood oozed out of it. Alice and Sean were shocked. Holy shit, he said. The walkers tore off his arm from its socket as they continued to tear him apart and devour him. They couldn't see the walker anymore as the group killed it. Holy shit, she said. Minutes later, Alice stopped the test. Did you see that? I was right! The dead can be tricked into killing one of their own, she said, as Sean looked on, surprised. In Huntington, we see Rachel enter the kitchen with Tyler, there waiting for her. Good morning, she said when she saw the table. There were crudely made pancakes and eggs. I couldn't make them like Benjamin's, but I tried, and Rachel hugged him. Thank you. I'm sure they taste fine, she stated. At breakfast, Rachel and Tyler talked. How's the baby doing? He asked. Fine. Dr. Roberts says it's healthy. As long as I don't put any more stress on my body, I will go full term. Still 2 months to go, she said. That's good. And how are you with he asked. I'm doing better. I've decided you all were right. We can do this. We're going to see Sean and Benjamin again. Things are tough right now, but we've had worse, she said. Have we? Tyler asked. I guess that's debatable, she stated. So have you decided on a name yet? For the baby? He asked. I want to wait until we see Benjamin again. It wouldn't feel right to decide one without him, she said. I get it, he said. Suddenly, someone knocked and the door opened. Rachel? They're here, she stated. Outside, we see Patriots taking several people in the cars as Rachel watches on. More people we're losing, Tyler told her. Don't worry, she held on to him. I'm never going to let them touch you again. We see Patrick in the woods with several others. He talks with Adrian. Are you having any doubts, son? He asked. No. No way in hell. I'm going in all the way. We've waited almost 6 months and I'm done waiting. For William and everyone else, he told his dad. And when this is all done, we'll go back home and celebrate as a family, he stated. On the other side, Obadiah noticed that Ethan and Josh were a little scared. Kat too. He also saw Miranda, the mother of Lucas. Do you see everyone who's with us? He asked. Yes, soldiers, he stated. No, these are scared people who barely know anything about fighting, he told him. Are you having doubts? He asked. Yes, I am, Obadiah stated. You know we're going to be outnumbered 10-1 at least, he told him. Miles and numerous soldiers left for a recon mission, and we'll have help from the inside. Once they see the fight happening, they'll join our side, he told him. How do you know? He asked. Because I have faith. For a convert, you should have a little more, he told him. Obadiah looked on, nervous and unsure. In a random town, we see Dan and Alexa running to a building as it pours rain. Hurry! Hurry! He shouts, covering her as he closes the doors. They close the doors when they see it. There's no lock! It's broken! She shouted. Oh, come on! He held the doors, seeing walkers behind them too. Oh, shit! He screamed. He then grabbed her hand and pushed through them. Run! Just run! He shouted. Where? She asked. Anywhere! Dan said as they pushed through the building. They raced through the hallways. Go, go, go! He shouted as they pushed through the dead. They ran upstairs, seeing more of the dead. Why are there so many? She asked. I don't know, he shouted, leading her through. They see a dead end at the hallway. Shit! Dead end! She shouted. Dan turned, seeing zombies coming for them. Try the door! He shouted. Alexa went for it and turned the knob. It won't budge! She pushed harder. It's bolted shut! She said. Dan stabbed multiple zombies in the heads. One of them grabbed him as he pushes it off of him. Try the window! He said. Alexa kicked the window, breaking it as glass was everywhere. She looked down. Hurry, Dan! She shouted as he was fighting off as many zombies as he could. They grabbed him as he pulled away. Get off of me! Ugh! He shouted, stabbing one and then kicking it down. His clothes were torn. Alexa climbed down the window, landing on a dumpster. She then fell down hard onto the ground in the alleyway. She regained her composure. Ow! Shit! Dan! She screamed. Dan stabbed, killing another walker, before finally making it to the window and jumping down. He was on the dumpster when in the window, a zombie followed him, sticking its head out of the glass. The zombie then crashed through as it landed on the dumpster, as well pushing onto Dan as he flew downward. The zombie landed on him as he fell down on the alleyway. Dan screamed as he landed with Alexa, rushing to save him. She took her knife, stabbing the zombie in the head. Dan was in pain, clenching his body from the fall damage. Hold on, I got you, she said, helping him up. Ow! Shit, that really hurt, he said, barely being able to move as he was on his knees. Hold on, I got you. Shit, you're bleeding. Let me see where the glass cut you, she said. Dan wiped the blood from his arms as he looked. That one too, she said, on his shoulder. Dan lifted his shirt, revealing his neck and shoulder area. It's bleeding. Yeah, I got cut here pretty bad, he said. Alexa began to disinfect his wound. but she looked at it. Wait, was that from the glass? She asked. Let me look at it closer. She noticed it. She then looked at his wound. How does glass make that kind of cut? She noticed that the breaks and skin were forming a line. That's weird. They look so familiar. She then looked at the dead zombie. What are you doing? He asked. Alexa looked at the zombie's face. She looked closer, seeing its mouth with blood on it. Is that fresh? Danbury looked at his wound. Oh no. Alexa turned back to him, horrified. Dan, your shoulder, she said. What? It's... Oh, fuck, he said. They were both horrified as his bite kept bleeding. 12 years ago. In the street, we see a pack of armored vehicles landing outside a building. The bulletproof back doors open widely as multiple FBI agents come out. They quietly but quickly move through the streets. One of them has a shoulder tag with the name Miles on it. He takes the lead. He takes his squad and he moves to the doors. He carefully places a charge on the door as they back away. It detonates, exploding into a massive fireball. Doors open as they charge inside. FBI! Freeze! Hands in the air now! Gun! Gun! One said before he fired. Miles fired his gun, killing the man. Target down! Target down! On the first floor! He stated. The rest of them raised their hands as his group surrendered them. They got them on their knees before handcuffing them behind their backs. Proceeding to second floor. Team Alpha 1, report. Hostiles secure. 1 KIA. Sweeping west hallway. Over, he shouted as he moved forward. Several gang members pointed their guns before getting fired. Miles and his team gunned down several more men in the hallway. Engaging! Miles moved to the column as one of them fired an automatic rifle. He saw one person bleeding from the leg. Shit! Director, we have a WIA. I repeat, a WIA requesting med extraction, he shouted. Negative. Press on. Treat the officer and continue pushing through, Lieutenant, he was ordered. Son of a bitch, he shouted. Coulson, tend to him. Me and the others will keep pushing on, he shouted. Yes, sir. They began to drag away the wounded FBI agent from the zone. As Miles opened fire, he covered them as he fired his rifle many times, forcing the gang members to retreat. They pushed on through, hallway to hallway, as we see more and more gang members were killed. Suddenly, his radio goes off. Sniper! Sniper! This is Team ISO! Sergeant Brooks got hit by an unknown sniper. She's not moving, unable to move to her position. Someone on the radio stated. Miles was shocked. Shit! This is Lieutenant Miles requesting your immediate location, he shouted. We're about north face, 3rd floor, he stated. Understood. Hold on tight, he stated. Lieutenant, you're staying right where you are. Thomas Gallo cannot escape, he was ordered. Sir, we're the closest squad to their position, he shouted back. I'll take that under advisement, Lieutenant. Now do your damn job, he heard. Miles was angry. Mess, stay with them. Dallas and Hill, you're with me, he shouted. But what about the commander's orders? They asked. He can take his orders and shove them up his own ass, he said, leaving. We see them move through the building and go up the stairs. Bullets fly as they move away. Gun! Gun! They shouted. Miles moved in his gun, killing another Diablo, as he fell down and landed down the stairs. Miles fired 2 more shots into him. Target down! Keep moving! He shouted. On a tower, we see the sniper firing his gun as Miles moves to his position. He fires his gun, killing the sniper. Sniper down! I repeat, sniper is down! He shouted. On the 3rd floor, we see Miles running to the group. Liza was bleeding on the floor as her comrades held a gauze pad over her. Friendlies! Friendlies! He shouted. Lieutenant Miles! They said. How is she? He asked. She's losing blood fast. They had armor-piercing rounds, they told him. He held onto her hand. He took off his helmet. Hey, Liza? Liza! Hey! I'm here! I'm here! Stay with me, okay? He shouted. Liza looked at him before blackening out. Sometime later, we see several officers outside a door. You disobeyed my direct orders! We took out the Diablos, but you nearly let Gallo get away! Do you have any fucking idea what could have happened if he escaped us? He shouted. Why did you fucking disobey my orders, you fucking insubordinate asshole? He said. Miles bottled his anger in. I'm sorry, sir, but I couldn't leave Team ISO behind in case it didn't make it, he said. You're officially suspended for Article 92. Your pay for the next 3 months is forfeited. Miles handed his gun and badge before leaving. Outside the building, Miles went into the alleyway and screamed, kicking over a trash can. Fuck! Fuck you, you fucking fuck! Ah! He shouted. He breaks a bottle before falling down on the ground and pressing his back by the wall. Fuck, he stated. At his house, we see Miles entering through his little girl. Kaylee hugs him. He pats her on the head as Lacey is on the phone. Okay, yeah, I'll see you guys there. Bye, Jessica. She entered the phone call. We see Lacey walking to them, hugging her husband. Is Aunt Liza going to be okay? She asked. Miles lowered himself to her level. I'm sure she will be, baby. The doctors are doing everything they can for her, he told her. What about Finn? You did everything to help him and he still died, she asked. I know, but your aunt is a lot stronger than a goldfish. She'll be okay, he told her. I feel so bad for Jessica and the boys, she said, hugging him. I know Chris is helping her. The doctors said only family, but luckily, I'm listed as her emergency contact, so I'm allowed, he said. We see the family driving in their van as he looks, seeing a homeless man on the road. Little Kaylee sees it. Why is the world so bad, Daddy? She said. Because there's bad people in it, he told her. Lacey took his hand. But no matter how many bad people there are still good ones. And good always wins, he told his daughter. At the hospital, we see them go to the reception. Hello, Kate and Miles. I'm here for Elizabeth Brooks. She arrived here last night. Here, he stated, giving his ID. Of course, Mr. Miles. She's in room 314, she stated, as he thanked her and left. We then see them enter the room. Liza turned to them when Kaylee tried to run her. Whoa, easy, baby. She's very weak right now. Her mother stopped her. It's okay, she can come. Come here, sweetie, she said. Kaylee carefully walked to her, taking her hand, gently placing her hand on her. Liza stroked her hand gently. It's okay, she whispered. She then turned, looking at Caden. Thank you for coming. I was worried about you, she said. Worried about me? You're the one who was shot, Caden said, scared. How are you feeling, Liza? You're not having trouble breathing, are you? Lacey asked. No, not really, just moving. The doctor said the bullet missed my vital organs by a centimeter, she told her. We see the family stepping on the side as Caden sits by Liza. Suddenly, the door opens and Jessica comes in. Oh, thank God! Jess carefully hugged her sister, who was still motionless on the bed. We see Jessica sitting down, talking to her sister. I can't believe that piece of shit, she whispered. It's a miracle you're alive, Jessica said, upset. I was worried that I was going to lose you, she told her. For some time, I thought you were going to leave me too, she said. Liza, you don't have to be in the FBI anymore. We can find you another job. A job less dangerous, she said. Liza listened. But it wouldn't do as much good, would it? She asked. Like the night I protected you from Dad? I don't do things because it's the safest to do. Do it because it's the right thing to do, Liza told her sister. Back in the hospital, we see Caden bringing Liza some McDonald's. Sorry for the food quality, he told her. She was eating. Don't be, honestly. This totally beats dried pickle cuts and watery cold potatoes, she said. They should be ashamed of themselves. They call that food? Crime against humanity, Liza laughed. Yeah, it really is. The world is laughing at it, she smiled. So, how are Lacey and Kaylee? She asked. Doing better. Lacey is thinking about changing jobs and Kaylee is getting ready for summer vacation. She's so excited for the beach. She's so much like Lacey, it's crazy, he joked. Yeah, she said. She's getting bigger. God, I miss when she was a baby. Good thing you took plenty of pictures, she told him. You know, you're almost fully recovered, he told her. Maybe you can ask Norrington for a transfer, he asked. No way in hell, she says. Oh, come on, Liza, be reasonable, he said. I am being reasonable, she said. How? How are you being reasonable? You almost died. You're my best friend. How can I do my job if I'm always thinking about you, worried if something will ever happen to you again? He asked, annoyed. How could I do a stupid damn desk job knowing you, my best friend, is out there all alone without me? She asked. I guess that's fair, he said. I just don't want to ever be that close to losing you again, he said. I'm my own woman, Cade. I can protect myself. I lived. I don't spend the rest of my life in fear of what almost happened. We can't be slaves to our own trauma. We have to become stronger than them, she said. Caden laughed. I wish I was like you. You're never scared of anything, he said. I am, though. What are you scared of? He asked. Is something horrible happening to you, or Jessica, or Lacey, or the boys, or Kaylee? She said, taking his hand. 8 years later. We see panic everywhere in the streets as zombies bite people. In the house, we see Lacey on the phone with a much older adult Kaylee beside her. Yeah, hon, she's right here. Where are you? Are we going to you or? She asked before being interrupted. At the FBI headquarters, we see Caden on the phone. The place was in a panic. Officers and agents everywhere. No, stay there. I'm coming to you, he told her. On the phone, we see Jessica and her family as they all look on scared. I don't like this. We should go. It's my parents in the countryside. It should be safer there, he told her. No, it's too dangerous right now. The roads are blocked for miles. The boys will never make it. The smartest thing is to stay here where it's safe. We have food, we're not sick, and Liza and Caden will be coming for us, she said. How do you know? He asked. That's what she told me, Jessica said. Chris huffed. Fine. We'll wait for them for 1 hour. Chris goes to his sons. Come on, boys, let's finish packing up. Toothbrushes, clothes, and anything else you need, he said. Dad, are we sick? He asked. No, Dylan, we're fine, he said. Is Aunt Liza okay? Jordan asked. I'm sure she is, but if she doesn't come, your mother and I are going to take you boys to your grandparents, he said. Suddenly, the lights went out as the boys screamed. Chris! Jessica screamed, terrified. On the street, we see Caden driving a special military FBI armored van. He drives through the street with his family inside. We see Caden driving his family as many people tried to come inside. They banged against the SWAT truck. Kaylee was covering her ears, crying. Lacey was comforting her. Are we just gonna leave everyone out there to die? She asked him. What do you want me to do? Let the entire city in? He asked. It's gonna be okay, honey, Lacey said. Yeah, for us, she said, upset. We see Caden driving the truck inside the compound as they get off of the armored vehicle. We see Caden and his family taking their bags out. He looks on, seeing many more coming and going. Wow, it's so deserted here. Where is everyone? He saw someone. Hill, where is everyone? He asked. They went to go get their families and bring them back here. Lordington is trying to stop anyone else from coming or going, he told him. What the fuck? He asked. What's even happening? What's the government doing? She asked. Apparently, they were ordering people to head into the cities so they can contain the virus. But we've heard reports of several cities already falling to the outbreak. Too many infected people to contain, he said. What about Aunt Liza? She asked. Caden looked on, scared. I don't know where she is. Suddenly, someone tapped his shoulder. Kate? She asked. Kate turned, seeing her. Liza, I'm so glad you're okay, he said, hugging her. Lacey and Kaylee also hugged her. Thank God. How did you get here? Wait, where's Jessica and the boys? They asked. They're still at the van, she told them. What's going on here? The hell in here is just as bad as the one out there, she asked. It's not good. The authorities are hurting people in the cities and quarantining them. The CDC still hasn't had any luck with what's causing the virus, and I saw a whole bunch of agents leave here to look for their families, he told her. Inside the compound, we see Norderton talking to everyone. Attention, fellow agents! We are urging people to continue wearing face masks and keeping their distances. This pandemic is getting worse at an alarming rate. I've spoken with the higher-ups, and they've stated that they are trying to find a way for us to identify the infected. Individuals who display signs of strong fever are likely carriers of the unknown virus. Caden whispered to her. How can people stay 6 feet away from each other if they're being herded like cattle into the cities? He asked. Yeah. It seems fishy as shit, she said. You don't think the government wants to make it even worse, do you? He asked. I wouldn't be surprised, she said. Think about it. First we hear about fevers going on in Europe, and now this. The virus came from there. They had to have known and brought it here too, she stated. Everyone shut the fuck up! The military is declaring a DEFCON 3, he stated. Holy shit, she said. If things get worse, we go to the countryside. All of us, he told her. We won't let it get worse, she said. Sometime later, we see Miles looking through the security monitors and panics. He starts sprinting and running. I need to see the director, he stated. Miles barged in. Sir, we have a serious problem at the front gate, he ordered. I know, and I was about to give the order, he told him. Order to let those people inside? Caden asked. No. The order to seal the gates and disperse them, he stated. What the fuck? Are you serious? Those people out there need help. They have kids. And you're going to turn your backs on them? Kill them for asking for help? He said, defensive. We are under strict orders. The more people we allow inside the compound, the more susceptible of everyone becoming infected. We are not letting anyone in, he stated. What about doing the right thing? Defending the American people? Is that all just bullshit now? What about fidelity, bravery, integrity? He asked. Mind your tongue, Captain, or you and your family can join them outside, he warned. Caden got defensive. Never threaten my family again, he warned, getting closer. Then do your fucking job, he stated. Caden walked out, pissed off. The next day, more people were outside camping at the gates, shouting to be let inside. Caden and Liza were talking. What the hell are we fighting for? He said, defensive. What can we possibly do? Our fuck-faced director said no. It's not like we can just defect or leave, Liza said. Another day later, we see Caden going to his room with his family. Dad, what are we going to do here? What about all those people outside that need help? She asked. I'm sorry, sweetie, but there's nothing we can. Kaylee left. Like hell there isn't, she said, walking away upset. Come on, baby. He tried stopping her. Lacey goes to him. We're safe here, he said. What kind of life are we going to live, knowing we could have helped so many others? She said to him. Come on, Lacey. You don't think I would do anything? It's just not possible. This isn't how it works, he said. Yeah, well, I didn't marry a man who was okay with letting people suffer, she said. He would have tried to find another way. Lacey left to go with her daughter. Liza comes in and sits with him. Several days pass. We saved our families. Did you hear about what happened? He asked. Yeah, the city's gone. Military fucking napalmed it, she said. What? Holy fucking shit, he said, horrified. I think about all those people that went to the city. How could they do that? She asked. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible, he said. No matter what happens, human beings still find more excuses to be more pieces of fucking shit, she said, crying. Liza, Caden tried to talk before being interrupted. They heard screaming when they looked, seeing something was happening. They began to run as they made it to the gates. Kate and Liza looked on. They saw people once again. Kate tried to move through when he was stopped by several soldiers. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Let me go! He shouted. Captain, stand down. You're interfering with official FBI business, a soldier all geared up said. Fuck you! I outrank you! He shouted. Not anymore, Norrington stated. Fire! He shouted as the FBI fired numerous grenades at the gates. Tear gas was everywhere, spraying over the civilians. They then set the alarm off as the people heard them. Norrington, what the fuck is going on? He shouted. Official FBI business. These intruders are trying to break into an emergency government building and won't cease and desist. Their fucking family's trying to survive! He shouted. The alarm was making so much noise as civilians ran away from the gates and gas. See, there you go. Now they're all gone, he said, as Cade was furious and horrified. Days later, we see Liza furious. Who does that motherfucker think he is? He fired tear gas at innocent people. Fucking kids were there, and he has the nerve. Why is everyone following him? She asked. That's it, she said. We should leave. All of us. I'll talk to Chris and Jessica, and they'll get the boys. You talk to Kaylee and Lacey. We'll leave for the countryside to Chris's parents, she stated. Caden smiled. What? Why are you smiling? She asked. I've already talked to them, he stated. We're not leaving, he told her. What? Why the fuck not? She asked. You can't seriously want to still live here with fuckington in charge, she said. Of course not. That's why, he checked his watch. He took out his backpack. You might want to wear this, he said, pulling out a gas mask. He placed it on her. Why am I wearing this? She asked. Because I sent Norrington a special present inside the air ducts that run through every part of the compound. Suddenly, yellow and green gas emerged from the vents as Liza was surprised. Holy shit, is that? I sent a little package to Norrington and his loyal fucks. Don't worry, Chris and everyone are safe, he told her. They're in the tunnels under the facility, along with all the other families, he stated, pulling out his gun. Mind helping me clean out the scum from this place? He said, cocking his gun. Liza looked on. Let's fucking do this, she said. In the hallways, many men were coughing, trying to run, as Miles and Liza shot them dead. They fired all their rounds, killing as many as they could. It was a massacre. Bodies were everywhere, in the hallways, bathrooms, cafeteria, and bedrooms and offices. We see some of the men clawed out their own throats out from the poisonous gas. The gas eventually faded as they made it to the director's office. They opened the doors looking. Norrington was dead, lying on the ground. Cade smiled before kicking him. You don't look so good now, you fucking prick, he said, kicking him. Suddenly, he growled as he began to get up. What the fuck? He asked, as Liza aimed her gun and fired, hitting him in the chest. Holy shit, Cade! He grabbed him and tried to bite him as Cade pushed him away. Cade slams him against the window. Just fucking die! He shouted as he pushed him through the window. Norrington fell backwards, landing multiple stories down below, falling onto the pavement. He was finally dead. 1 year later, we see Kaylee and Lacey killing zombies as they scavenge a town. They load up some of the cars with supplies. Lacey smiled at her daughter. You good? She asked. I'm fine, Mom. How are you? She asked. I'm getting there. Killing the biters is tougher than you and your father make it look, she said. Lacey smiled. I sure hope Manny feels better, she stated. We'll need more medicine, she said. We see Caden talking to Obadiah as they scavenge more gas from the cars. Gasoline is gonna go, and soon, he stated. Suddenly, Kaylee looked, seeing something on the street. Biter! She said. I'll get it. Kaylee walked and then saw the walker. He was wearing all black armor. Wait, what is it wearing? The walker snarled at her. She pulled her machete and stabbed it in the head. Hey guys! Come over here, quick! She shouted. Cade ran to her. Kaylee, don't go so far off. What is it? He asked. Look at this biter I just killed, she said. It's a soldier? He said. No, I mean, look at what he's wearing. And he's fresh, too. Cade looked at it. Yeah, you're right, he said. If it's fresh, then that means there might be more people out there. Maybe more people looking for this poor soul, Obadiah stated. You're right. This means there's another group around here. We should do some recon, he said. Obadiah, I want you to go back to Helios with the supplies and send more people here. The rest of us are going to continue looking for supplies and anything else. We'll radio in if something happens, he stated. Understood, sir, he said. Hours later, we see Kaylee and Lacey are looking through a store when they come face to face with a soldier in black. All of them panicked, aiming their guns. Whoa, hey, easy there! Why don't you just lower the gun? She said. I can't do that, the woman in black armor said. Look, we're not here to hurt you. You seem like you're alone, Kaylee said. I have a group with me, she said. Then where are they? She asked. They're... Damn it. She lowered her gun. I guess there's no point. My name is Rosalind. I got separated from my team. We got stranded from the storm last night and had to take shelter in a mall. Our radios are too wet to work, and we ran out of ammo, she said. Where is this mall? She asked. They're trapped. I was outside when the column came, she said. In the mall, we see many zombies trying to get in. We tried to regroup in the mall, but they look, seeing the large herd. That's a lot of them, they said. Yeah, too many. Kaylee holstered her gun. She then pulled out her radio. Hey, Dad, are you there? It's me. We need help, she said. Are you and your mother okay? He asked. Yeah, we're fine, but we ran into someone. We see everyone gathering their cars as they pack a boombox onto the truck, placing a song inside the deck. All right, distraction is all set, sir. Caden took his radio. All right, get ready for my signal. Kaylee, I want you and your mother far in the back, he said. Understood? Understood, Dad, the woman said. They played the music. As the loud rock music blasted, the Patriots fired several emergency flares, which distracted the massive group of the dead. The biter herd began to slowly turn back as they headed towards it. It's working! Keep it going! We want the herd completely out of our zone, he stated. Caden and the others moved forward, charging and killing as many of the zombies as they could, as they all worked together. They then made it to the front of the mall. The doors were barricaded, but he yelled for anyone inside. Hey! It's okay! We're here to help! The infected are gone! He shouted. Inside the mall was a small group of CRM soldiers listened as they pushed through. They activated their batons, seeing the dead gone. Look! The dead are gone! One said. They saved us? Another one asked. The dead were far enough away as everyone greeted each other. Hello, I'm Commander Miles. This is my group, he said. We found your friend Rose and we took care of that herd that was trying to get in, he said. Thank you for saving us, they said. We're truly grateful for the rescue, they told him. Rose approached them. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Miles, for saving my comrades. If it wasn't for you, we all would have wound up dead out here, she said. I'm just glad no one died. Hey, what are you people exactly? I mean, you don't look like you're from around here, he asked. We're not. Suddenly they heard a loud sound. They looked up, seeing a helicopter. Holy shit! Quick, fire a flare! She screamed. Lacey fired her flare gun as the helicopter noticed it. Can I borrow this? Rose asked, taking a radio. Reclamation 1, this is Private Campbell. My team is alive. Lead was killed in crash. Requesting pickup, over, she said. Understood, Private. We'll be landing in 5, over. Copy that, 1, she said. Whoa, that's amazing, Kaylee said. As the helicopter lands, we see Caden and everyone else completely shocked and blown away. They see it turn off as at least 6 soldiers exit the vehicle. Oh my god, she said. The man stepped out of it. Are you the leader of this group? He asked. I am, Commander Miles, he said. I appreciate you saving my soldiers, he said. Captain Wells, he told him. Well, Captain, well, you have my full attention. It's not every day you see a helicopter, he told him. Where is the lead's body? He asked. Oh, we left him back in our cars, he told him. Understood. Would you take us to him? Burial for the family back home, he stated. Of course, he said. As they all walked, Miles noticed something. Some of the soldiers were going with the others, out of sight. He looked, seeing that Lacey and Kaylee were next to Private Rose and the others. "Good job, team! Let's go home," he stated. Suddenly, Lacey was shot in the head as everything slowed down. The CRM soldiers started firing them as Caden ducked in horror. His soldiers were being picked off like flies as he looked for cover. He pulled his gun out trying to fire, but it was too chaotic. Wells fired his gun, hitting Caden, but as Kaylee was hurt. Caden ran as fast as he could. Not a single CRM soldier was hit. Caden ran to her, shouldering his daughter as he ran as fast as he could, getting her away from the site, abandoning them all. One by one, the Patriots all died, nearing 30 of them. Bodies were everywhere. They found themselves in a clearing. Kaylee was crying as she was choking on her own blood. "Mom, I'm so sorry. Dad, I didn't mean to," she said. No, this isn't... You're okay, baby. Please, just hold on, okay? Hold on for me. I'm gonna fix you up. You're gonna be okay, he said. "Dad, I'm sorry. Please, I don't want to go. I'm scared. I'm sorry," she said before stopping. No, Kaylee, please. "Oh my God," he said. Wake up, baby, please. It's not your fault, Kaylee. Please, it's not your fault, Kaylee, baby," he said, but she was dead. She stopped moving as he cried. Caden held onto her, crying. "Hey, please don't leave me," he said, holding onto her. A footstep appeared as he aimed his gun. Suddenly, he was shot again before falling to the ground. He clung to his bleeding side and shoulder as he looked, seeing the girl Rose aiming her gun at him. "I'm sorry. I didn't know this was going to happen," she said. She aimed her gun before firing it at Kaylee's head. "Sorry," she said, walking away from a dying Caden. Cade breathed heavily as he was left there all alone in the woods. Weeks later, we see Liza looking at a family photo of Miles. It was a memorial of the Wall of Lost. She looked at it in sadness before kissing it. While walking, she heard a noise and went to it. She then saw Caden aiming a gun at his head. She was horrified as he began crying. "Kate, stop! Wait, don't do it!" she begged. "Lacey and Kaylee, we want you to keep going. To keep living," she said. "Why? Why would they want that? They were my world. My entire world, and they're gone. I should have known. It was my fault. They all died because of me. So the only way to make this right is to kill myself too," he said. "I'm sorry, Liza, but it's the right thing to do. Please, Kate, this isn't the right way. I love you. Remember when we started at the academy? Remember when you were nervous at your wedding? All those memories. I can't lose you too," she said. "You still have Jessica and the boys," he said. "I do, but I love you just as much. Please, you don't have to do this. What about avenging them? Don't you care?" she asked. "I can't avenge them. I'm too weak. I have no chance," he said. "Yes, you do. We'll help you. I'll help you, no matter what. I have been with you every single step of the way in your life, and I'm not leaving you now," she said. "If you do this," she said. Liza then pulled her gun out and aimed it at herself. "What the hell are you doing?" he asked. "If you do it, then so will I, Cade." "No, put it down. You are not killing yourself for me. I don't want you to follow me. You deserve better," he said. "All I ever wanted was to be at your side, and I'm not leaving you again. Where you go, I go. Your enemies are my enemies, and your choices are my choices. I love you, Kate. I have always, even after you and Lacey got married, I never stopped. You were too important to me. It never stopped. So if you leave this world, then I will too, because I will not live in it without you," she cried. Cade cried, throwing the gun down, cursing as he collapsed in depression. Liza ran to him, hugging him. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm sorry, Liza," he cried. Liza comforted him as he broke down completely distraught. In Helios, we see dead bodies in a smashed-up security room. Miles and Liza looked on as they were taking the bodies away. "How the fuck did this happen?" he asked. Ellis appears. Sir, I remember my security card went missing several weeks ago. I thought I left it in my other pants, but it might have been stolen," he said. "And you come to me with this now?" he asked. "Well, I didn't think." Suddenly, Caden slashed him in the face with his knife. "You didn't fucking think! No, you didn't! You fucking dipshit!" he said, kicking him down. Liza stopped him. "Enough! Shit, what did you do? Quick, get Evans now!" she asked. Elsewhere, we see Chris locked in his room by the window. The doors opens as Caden comes in. "You have really fucked up my fucking day this time, Chris," Caden said, angry as hell. "Fuck you and your fucking day," he said. "Chris!" Liza shouted. "You will shut up now. You have no idea what you've done. 2 of my men are dead, and you're number 1 on my fucking list. So you think I did it?" he asked. "You're missing an alibi, and we found fucking coded papers months ago, after all the chances I gave you. Liza told me you were innocent, but I knew it was you. It was always you." Chris looked at his sister-in-law. "You used to be a good person, Liza. You're my sister-in-law. You were in our home for Christmas almost every year. How could you have become this?" "What do you mean?" she asked. "You know what I mean. My sister loved you. Our boys loved you. But you... Do you know that even after everything last year in Huntington, I defended you? I told Jessica that despite everything Caden did, no matter what he made you do for his selfish crusade against the CRM, you were still their aunt, and it was okay to still love you, because they were good boys. You used to believe in honor and truth, but you can't see that the Patriots have fallen to hell. Look at your life. Did you ever expect this? Are you happy with it?" he asked. Caden grunted. "Leave her out of this. This is between you and me, Chris. You betrayed us again. You left this place years ago. Got your family almost killed. Hell, your son was captured by the CRM and barely escaped with his life. That just tells me you're weak. You're too fucking weak to protect your family," he said. "At least I still have one," he said. Caden flipped. "Ah!" He shoved him against the window, breaking the glass. "How dare you! Out of all the fucking chances I gave you, I fucking saved your life, and this is how you repay me!" he shouted. "Caden, stop!" Liza begged. Caden was losing it. "I see, you're just like him. You're just like Northington," he said. Caden screamed, pushing him out of the room, right through the window, as Chris broke through the glass and began to fall. Liza screamed as Chris fell several stories before landing down on the concrete pavement outside. His body splattered everywhere as he stopped falling. "Chris!" Liza screamed. Oh my God, she said. She looked at Caden. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do it, Liza. My hand slipped," he told her. Liza looked on, shocked at Caden's reaction. Outside, thick red blood oozes from Chris's body as it leaves a long stream of crimson blood on the pavement.